Welcome back, zombie survival fans. Today, we're diving into the top 10 deadly survival mistakes made by our favorite characters in The Walking Dead. But seriously, this show gives us a lot to unpack when it comes to staying alive in a world gone totally bonkers. Over its 11 seasons, The Walking Dead hasn't just given us jump scares and gore, it's given us a masterclass in what not to do when the dead start walking the earth. And trust me, some of these characters learned the hard way, so buckle up, grab your survival kit, and get ready to learn from the best. And by best, I mean the ones who messed up big time, because today we're dissecting 10 fatal errors that sent those beloved characters straight to Walker Chow. Learn from their errors to survive your own apocalypse.
Dale, our beloved RV-dwelling, hat-wearing moral compass. He was the voice of reason, the heart of the group in those early seasons. But even Dale, the guy who seemed to have his head on straight, fell victim to one of the cardinal sins of the zombie apocalypse, not securing the perimeter. Think back to season 2. The farm. Seems peaceful, right? Herschel's got his crops, there are wells for water, and for a hot minute, it felt like they could rebuild. But they got comfortable, complacent. They let their guard down. And you can't do that, folks, not even for a second. Dale's death was a gut punch, literally, thanks to that walker that wandered in unnoticed. He was off on his own, lost in thought, and bam, ambushed. This is why securing your perimeter is survival rule number 1 in the Zombie Apocalypse Handbook. You need barriers, you need lookouts, you need a system.
You know, it's funny. We're talking about T-Dog, and I just realized how much I miss him on the show. He was the strong, silent type, always there, always ready to lend a hand. But his death, man, that one still gets me. Season 3, the prison. Things are getting real fast. Walkers swarming, tensions high, and in the chaos of it all, T-Dog gets separated from the group. Now remember, T-Dog isn't a stranger to danger. He's seen his fair share of walker guts, but in that moment, he made a fatal mistake. He lost track of his surroundings. He was so focused on helping Carol escape, so focused on getting her to safety, that he forgot about his own, and that's what gets you killed in the zombie apocalypse. You can't let your guard down, not even for a second, not even to help someone else. It's like they say on airplanes. Put your own oxygen mask on first, then help the person next to you. Because if you go down, you can't help anyone.
Herschel, the wise old farmer, the veterinarian with a heart of gold. He was the moral compass of the group, always pushing for peace, always trying to see the good in people. But sometimes in the zombie apocalypse, that faith in humanity can be your downfall. We're talking about the governor, folks. That dude was bad news from the moment he stepped on screen with that creepy eye patch and that too charming smile. Herschel, bless his soul, saw a flicker of humanity in him, a chance for peace. But the governor thrived on chaos and violence. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he played Herschel like a fiddle. Herschel's death was a turning point in the show. It showed us that sometimes there are no good guys and bad guys, just survivors, and sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Herschel's mistake was a noble one, but a mistake nonetheless.
Chapter 4. Oh man, Noah, he was just finding his footing, he had so much potential, so much hope for the future, and then, just like that, he was gone. And the way he went out, brutal, absolutely brutal. Remember that revolving door? Yeah, that's the kind of nightmare fuel that sticks with you. They were so close to getting out, so close to safety, but they got sloppy. They let their guard down. And in the zombie apocalypse, a moment of carelessness can cost you everything. Noah's death was a perfect storm of bad decisions. Misjudging the stability of the building, poor communication, and a lack of a clear exit strategy. They went in blind, without a plan, and they paid the price.
Chapter 5. Beth. Sweet, innocent Beth. She went through so much, lost so much, and just when it seemed like she was finally finding her strength, finding her place in the world, she was taken from us. And it was all because of a split-second decision. The hospital, Dawn. That whole situation was a powder keg just waiting to explode. Beth saw a chance to take a stand, to fight back against the injustice she saw around her. And in a way, you have to admire her courage, her willingness to risk everything for what she believed in. But it was a rash decision. Impulsive. And in a world where every bullet counts, where every life hangs in the balance, acting on emotion can have devastating consequences.
Chapter 6. Tyrese, the gentle giant. He was a man of principle, a man of faith, even in the darkest of times. He always tried to see the good in people, even when it was hard to find. But sometimes that compassion, that empathy can make you vulnerable. He was bitten in that house, surrounded by walkers, and yet, it wasn't the walkers that got him. It was his own mind. He was distracted, lost in his thoughts, looking at pictures of a life that was gone. And in that moment of vulnerability, the walkers struck. Tyrese's death was a harsh reminder that in the zombie apocalypse, you can never let your guard down, not even for a second. The moment you allow yourself to become complacent, to relax your vigilance, you become a target. It's a constant battle, staying alert, staying aware, but it's a battle you have to fight every single day. Chapter 7. Oh, Andrea, she was a fighter, a survivor. She went from being a scared lawyer to a total badass, handling a gun like she was born with it. But even the toughest, most capable survivors can fall prey to the wrong kind of enemy. We're talking about the governor, folks. That dude was a master manipulator, a charming sociopath who could sniff out vulnerability like a bloodhound. And Andrea, bless her heart, she wanted to believe in him. She wanted to believe that there was still some good left in the world. But the governor? He was rotten to the core. And by the time Andrea realized the truth, it was too late. She trusted the wrong person, and it cost her everything. Bob. The good-natured, always smiling Bob. He had his demons, sure, but he never let them get him down. He was a survivor through and through. But even the most seasoned survivors can fall victim to a moment of carelessness. Remember Terminus? That whole sanctuary thing turned out to be a giant cannibalistic nightmare. Bob got captured because he let his guard down. He thought he was safe, thought he could finally relax and enjoy a moment of peace. But the zombie apocalypse? It doesn't work that way. There's no such thing as safe. Not really. There's only being prepared and being vigilant. And Bob, unfortunately, he learned that lesson the hard way. His death was a brutal reminder that in the zombie apocalypse, you're never truly out of the woods. Glenn, our beloved Glenn, the pizza delivery boy turned zombie killing machine. He was smart, resourceful, and always willing to put himself on the line for others. But sometimes even the best intentions can lead to disaster. Remember Negan? That barbed wire-wrapped baseball bat he called Lucille? Yeah, that was a rough day for everyone. Glenn's death was a gut punch, a game changer, and it all stemmed from a series of miscalculations and risky decisions. They underestimated Negan, underestimated his ruthlessness, his willingness to do whatever it took to win. They went into that situation with a plan, sure, but it was a flawed plan. And in the end, it cost Glenn his life.
Carl Coral, little ass kicker, he literally grew up in the zombie apocalypse. He went from hiding in houses to dual-wielding pistols like a pro. He was the future, man. And it's that future that makes his death even more tragic. He wasn't taken out by a horde of walkers or a power-hungry villain. No, Carl died because of his own big heart. He was trying to help someone, trying to do the right thing, and in the process, he got bitten. It's a cruel irony, isn't it? That the same compassion that made Carl such a good person, such a beacon of hope in a world gone mad, is what ultimately led to his downfall.
10 deadly survival mistakes from The Walking Dead. 10 harsh reminders that in the zombie apocalypse, every decision counts. Every mistake could be your last. But hey, at least we're not actually living through a zombie apocalypse, right? We can learn from the mistakes of these characters without having to face the actual consequences. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more Walking Dead insights and survival tips.